later in the book. The second chapter is equally fundamental as the basis for effective instruction. Goals and assessments based on actful proficiency guidelines. Having a clear and realistic understanding of what we want students to be able to do at various levels is imperative to determine whether the steps we're taking are moving us in the right direction. The rest of the book is organized around the 3 modes of communication, since that is our main focus. Given the importance of input for language acquisition, we dedicated 2 chapters to interpretive communication. Output-based communication modes, presentational and interpersonal, are grouped within their own section. Each chapter is divided into the following sections. What do I need to know? This section is where we present and discuss must-know information and concepts that should guide pedagogical practices. This section is peppered with text box excerpts called In Case You Were Wondering, where we address some questions that we anticipate listeners may have. What does it look like in the classroom? This section is where examples help listeners visualize how to apply the principles and ideas discussed in the first section. Now that you know. This section includes reflection, expansion, and application questions that could be used in a course, a reading group, or just to ignite a conversation via social media. As much as we kept in mind the reality of the classroom throughout the book, in the epilogue, aptly titled Reality Check, we delve further into some common concerns language educators have when trying to put principles into action, particularly when working under constraints that are out of their control. To help our listeners explore and expand on various topics directly or tangentially related to what we discuss in each chapter, we compiled web-based resources, e.g. webinars, videos, blog posts, podcasts, etc., and suggestions for further reading on our companion site, which will be updated periodically. We also have a special section on strategies and suggestions for developing your professional learning network. Audience. This book was authored with language educators in mind, first and foremost. We have kept in mind their concerns and their questions, which we address throughout each chapter. Furthermore, we aim to explain key concepts in a straightforward way, as if we were having a conversation with our listeners. Even though it is not entirely jargon-free, i.e., some specific terms are good to know, we have kept things as simple as possible, not to lose the forest for the trees. Throughout the book, we provide suggestions and examples for pre-service and in-service educators to adapt to their own contexts. We believe this book will be particularly useful for those who are beginning their journey toward understanding fundamental aspects of SLA, those who are looking to transition from traditional language teaching approaches to proficiency-based instruction, those who are grappling with how to make pedagogical decisions based on SLA principles. Our intention is to offer various points of reflection for all language educators. We hope that our listeners will be inspired by new ideas, reassured by familiar concepts, and challenged by thought-provoking questions. Some notes on terminology. Second language acquisition, SLA. Even though this is the widely accepted name for the field, we are not implying that the target language is strictly the second language for all learners. We cannot and should not assume that learners are monolingual when entering our classroom. Whenever we mention SLA, we actually mean ALA, additional language acquisition. Target language. This is the term we will use to refer to the language you teach, as opposed to second language, L2, since some learners may have a different second language. Once again, the term L2 assumes monolingualism on the part of the students. Shared language. This is the term we will use to refer to the language that the teacher and the students have in common, as opposed to first language, or L1, since it may not actually be the learner's or the teacher's first language. So, for example, in a Spanish 101 classroom in the United States, the shared language would be English. The teacher's L1 might be Spanish.